Hello everyone, welcome back. On this lesson, we are going to learn about authorization token, more specifically JWT token or JWT token, depending how you pronounce it. So the all means the same. Token is something that it's very much important on distributed systems and basically the main way of authenticate requests. There is others way as well, so we are going to see some of those later. So when you are using certificates for authenticate requests. But now, so far, we have explored the use of a JWT token. And now it's time to understand a little bit more about how it works and its anatomy. So the first things, let's grab the one you generated in last video. And we take this and we go to JWT token IO, and we are gonna place our token in here. And the first thing that we want to notice it is that our JWT token, it's saying that the signature was verified, right? And how this is possible? So when a service on the internet can actually verify our local token, how this is possible? The first thing is it is a browser, right? It's in the browser. That means it's running locally and using JavaScript to access our local environment. How they are able to verify this? It is that if you see here on our token, we have few information. And one of the information that you have is the issuer, and the issuer here it is our local environment. And so this website, it's able to take this URL and apply a standard protocol, which it is the OpenID, and all the OpenID, let's say, token should follow the same structure, and it's basically provide a endpoint that you will be able to retrieve the certificate or the key or the public key of this token, or how this token was assigned. So when you go to this local environment here, and that this is what this website is doing, and it's able to get a list of public keys, or you can call certificates, which is basically the same. And you can see that here we have multiple keys, and how we know which keys it is the one that token was assigned? It is because on the header we can actually see this key ID here, and with this we can actually go and see which one the key was assigned with. Our token was assigned with this key, and therefore we are able to take this public key or certificate. So X5C is the certificate. It's a type of certificate. And with this, we are able to decrypt it, right? And not only decrypt, but we are able to actually validate the signature of the token. So I think the first thing that it would be important to mention is that our token, it is divided in three, let's say, separate in three pieces, right? So the first, it is the header, then the payload, and then the signature, right? And the header contains few information, so the type of the token, JWT, and the key that this token was signed with, and the type of algorithm. So based on this, we are able to verify the signature itself. And one important thing that is part of the signature verification, and is that we need to use this information, right? So the algorithm and the public key, but we also need to use the payload itself as part of the verification. So you can guarantee that the payload was not modified after it was signed. And to check that, you can easily, for example, change something here. So if you when you change anything from the payload, right, you can see this is the payload part, and the signature became immediately invalid because we cannot change the payload. So its payload is part of the verification of the signature. If you use something different, and if for whatever reason an intermediate actor has got this payload this token and has changed the payload, that would be identified here. So how these things works. I think this chart would also help to understand the flow a little bit better, right? So this is basically what we have done, right? So we have added our login and password to our authorization service, in our case, our Keycloak, and it's validate the user and password, and then get the user ID and added that user ID. Let's say add a payload. Doesn't matter. This could be anything, right? So, and this would be signed, right? So JWT sign with the payload that you just explained, that it will be part of the signing, plus the private key of that authorization service, which we also found out which key was used. So you could use our public key to decrypt it. And then you have the final JSON web token, which is returned to the user. And the user would keep that store that local for the subsequent requests to the API, right? So then the request would, every request would be sending the JSON web token as part of it, and we will be applying this verification, which will contain the JSON token plus the public key. So the process that you just did using JSON, this JWT.io tool. I think, let me see if I need to cover anything else. So yeah, so you know now how it's generated. The process of generating use the private key, and then how you retrieve the public key to verify the JWT token, and therefore you can then get the information and perform the operation that you are trying to do. Let me see where else. So this is the type. So you can see that each let's say piece of the token, it's separated by a dot here, and you can see another one down here, and this is the signature side. And I think that's all I wanted to cover about JWT token. I think this would give a good understanding of what it is, the JWT token, and how it is created, and how we ensure that the token is a valid one. Okay, so see you next lecture.